Court case against NICTA listed for January 17th. Kone residents file complaint against police for damages. And parents and students support IBSU.
This is the National NTV News with Mary Bertulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday's news. The court case against NICTA on SIM card registration has been listed for directions on January the 17th. This morning, an urgent application was made at the Waigani National Court to have the matter listed.
Parties involved in this matter include Francis Bundo as the plaintiff, NICTA CEO Charles Puana, Communications Minister Sam Basil, and the state as the first, second, and third respondents. This case was registered at the National Court in Port Moresby in December 2017, days before the start of the deactivation process. The plaintiff, Bundo, is asking the National Court to relax the registration process on grounds that most mobile phone users are in the rural areas and do not have valid ID cards to register their SIM cards. Under the new NICTA Act of 2016, all telecommunications companies were asked to register their customers before the 31st of December 2017. Since August 2016, the three mobile companies have started registering their customers through their SIM cards. However, most mobile phone users did not register their SIM cards until the remaining days of 2017. The case now before the National Court in Port Moresby will return for directions hearing on January 17. Meanwhile, the new deadline for SIM card registration is on the 23rd of January. Thakla Gunga, National MTV News.
Residents in Kone have filed a complaint with police after suffering severe damages to their property. Eyewitnesses told MTV News the son of a government minister used police to enter a property forcefully and causing damages to vehicles and buildings in the area. The residents say though their relative is a suspect following a fight during the New Year celebrations, there are proper ways to address such disputes.
The second day of 2018 was disastrous for Kira and his relatives when police forcefully entered their property and went on a rampage. He says the conduct of the law officers was unnecessary.
Only just comes us all moving, all police is shoot out, only give them direction, all Islam, pigni long, or Burgum all Islam, gate na ko instead, destroy him, how much la car glass, how much la property in Chadlong, and this la yar.
According to reports collected by MTV News, police were in pursuit of one of Kera's relatives after a brawl between the son of a prominent state agency chief executive and a member of the public. Security personnel from a known security firm were present but did not help stop the fight. In fear of his life, Kera's relatives headed back to Kone. He was then pursued by the son of a senior state minister accompanied by 5 police vehicles.
So make him send come. So this la one policeman to solem 7 midla. No property blow midla, no involvement of killing midla. Property them must finish.
So Solman natin na buat nan sila kan kami mo sa milo ba to ko mol traskolo. All biro all sila kan man or kam so. All pigri lo minister mem involve na kami plan one bell.
According to eyewitnesses, police made several arrests to anyone that was seen in the vicinity of the property. Kone resident Max Ulambia was not present when one of his sons was taken into custody by police.
Ibla terrorism ibla long salon property ibla you know mid household ibla Hamas line ibla Hamas house line paksa ibla terrorism.
For Mr. Kira, a report will be filed including estimates to the property sustained. This vendor told MTV News residents are still living in fear following yesterday's attack.
Want to go asking me plan about me plan to me plan so one is something come up. Me plan to go sem sol na start. All ko burki maus plan ara plaman ko inside ko paitem picnic plan islaman.
The residents have urged police not to take the law into their hands but follow proper procedures. Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Meanwhile, police in downtown Port Moresby have laid charges on the son of a state minister following yesterday's incident at Kone. The charges include unlawful trespassing, attempted murder and willful damage. The report has also reached NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Pero Drano. MTV News is aware that the main suspect in the incident is in hiding, but police say arrests will be made soon. You're watching National MTV News. We'll have more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. IBSU parents and students today showed their support for the institution, stating that it had been providing quality education over the years. And the Higher Education Secretary should come out clearly on what exactly the institution needs to do to regain its status as a recognized university in the country.
We haven't received the DHEST PQR department or Quality Assurance Department here at IBS University to go on or carry out this external audit that was mentioned recently.
A press conference today by parents and students questioned why DHEST had to wait after exams to revoke IBSU's status as a university.
There should be some kind of dialogue going on between IBSU and DHEST, but that should be a discussion that should not hinder the registration of the students that are already in IBSU.
Another parent, Joycelyn King, pleaded to both parties to find solutions to this issue so that students' education isn't affected. IBSU SRC President Solomon Masamdu says both parties must not forget to serve their purpose and is to educate Papua New Guineans.
So this thing happening right now, it's quite shocking, but IBS is a university, in my opinion. Everything that we do in school is up to university standard.
Emmanuel Wow, a continuing student, said IBSU had been providing education services for many years without the much funding support from the national government.
For us as SCU degree program students, we know that we are at another level. And I would like to say thank you to IBS for bringing this to our doorstep, and we were able to get an Australian degree that has not been provided by the government.
Former IBS student and employee also supported parents and students.
There is a loophole in our education system. The system is putting and telling the kids that they are failures, which they are not. They're not failures. Papua New Guinea, rise up. It is our time to stand together and show that we are standing together as Papua New Guinea for our future education and put pressure on the government to do what is right for the children, because they deserve to be educated. And look at the issue we are in now. It's because of ill decisions that we are making. And Father Zenzuba has a political agenda or personal grievances. Earlier, I was in the process of university doing stuff for IBS as a university. And we have met all the requirements. They came, asked us questions, we forward everything else. I left in 2015. After that, they got the university status. So if Father Zen is coming that IBS does not comply, that's a lie. It's been gazetted, it's in the NEC. So what is he going to do now for all these kids that are left behind?
Almost 700 students so far have been given acceptance letters by IBS University despite the situation. Mary Bucky, who will be continuing her studies this year at IBSU, walked into the campus to register but was uncertain of her education's future as she had moved universities before.
I was enrolled in BMF program with the University of Papua New Guinea, and then after the strike happened and I enrolled in IBS, so thinking my future was secured, and now this arises. I'm really confused what's going to happen now.
Potential IBSU students such as Leilani Laufa has also missed out on securing a spot at IBSU because this tertiary institution was left out from the national selection process. As a result, students who had chosen IBSU to study in 2018 were offered placings in other universities like Leilani.
My humble request as a parent, please let's be matured, act as professionals, act as people who are concerned about the learning and future of our little ordinary Papua New Guineans, children, so we can show them the example that we can sit on a round table and always come up with decisions that are good and conducive for the learning of our children.
Stacey Yellow, National EMTV News.
And Higher Education Secretary Father Jan Juba is expected to respond to this matter tomorrow. Taking a look now at the finance news, and the Kone closed unchanged at $0.3095 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, Kone was buying $0.302 US, $0.3816 Australian dollars, $0.2463 euro, and 33.53 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee and copper closed the day lower, cocoa closed the day higher. Palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, while copper closed the day higher. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed 104 points higher, the ASX is up 8 points, and the All Ordinary is 6 points higher. Here with National EMTV News this Wednesday, among stories after these messages, Sanguma to be addressed in Western Highlands, a new chapter for UNRE, and the life of marketing fish in the city. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Bishop of the Good News Lutheran Church, David Piso, says the provincial and national governments must take a proactive approach to address sorcery before it gets out of hand, and one way is to support churches.
Bishop Reverend David Piso said if sorcery is not being addressed well, Sanguma practice and the killing of innocent lives will go out of hand. The church's stand is that sorcery is an evil practice. The bishop said women and girls are dying at the hands of adults, particularly men, who are supposed to respect women. Enga provincial government are funding churches in Enga province to change the mindsets of people to eradicate the believing of sorcery practice.
You have to, the government was asked to fund the churches because churches have got the people with them. Through like this worship here, like other lotus, we can change the mindset of the people.
Reverend Piso said too much talking about Sanguma can affect the brain in believing that Sanguma is real. He further explained that even if sorcery was real, it is caused by devil and Christians should not believe it. Led by the bishop, the South Good News Lutheran Church at Wapanamanda in Enga province held a week-long crusade to address sorcery, drug, homebrew and tribal fight problems at the community level. So far, more people repented and more than 200 grown marijuana plants were uprooted.
Government name stop na problem go week. Or litaman to stop na problem 2 week. Now problem go them go andabna. Emi togi milo raushim marona mi na mi raushim.
Ogara something mi blau. Walking finish na mi blau like show him all lik beginning all elementary staff also all can kiss him this la kind leadership. Bien long time blau all come up mi blau go down all back kiss him plus blau all.
A police prosecutor, Roman Sangan, said the national government and law enforcers can't do much to change people's mindsets and address drug and Sanguma problems. Sangan said they need to support churches to fight this issue as it is also a spiritual fight.
Kill him was yet me plus enforce him law tasol. Law enforcers he not make him so. Me acknowledge him na me thank him big man osem power blood talk blood God and me send him na me clean him this place me.
Meanwhile, Reverend Piso said similar crusades will be held in all parts of Enga to educate men, especially to change their mindsets. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
2017 was a promising year for the University of Natural Resources and Environment in East New Britain Province. The sacking of 2 senior staff members, the appointment of a new Vice-Chancellor, and the arrest of former Vice-Chancellor have been milestones achieved by the student body. A series of student boycotts was rendered a success and has changed the face of the university. Our Kokopo-based journalist Edwin Fidelis has been following the series of events over the last 3 years and files this special report.
The University of Natural Resources and Environment has been a hive of events in the last 3 years,
Allegations of corruption within the university's administration has prompted the student body to boycott classes for several weeks and called for political interventions. 2015 marked the start of a series of boycotts that contributed to the change of the university's administration and how the university is to be managed.
The explanation that is coming out from the administration is totally not satisfying the students.
An increase in tuition fees, the introduction of the block courses, and the sidelining of the Student Representative Council have prompted the students to stay away from classes and demanded answers from the university's administration.
We want the department to come out and clearly explain to the students and the staff whether these changes are correct and right or not.
The boycott also prompted an investigation into alleged instances of fraud committed by the former Vice-Chancellor Philip Siaguru during his previous term in office. But that isn't the first and it wasn't the last. In May 2016, the students yet again went on another boycotting of classes. This time they demanded that the University Council be suspended and a new one appointed following ongoing allegations of corruption that has dragged on from previous years. A set of petition was presented by the students to the then Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Malakai Tabar. But the outcome of the petitions were not what the students expected.
And Council must deliberate on the issues and events of the past few weeks and make a decision.
In June 2017, 12 months later, the students for another time stayed away from classes for at least a month. This follows the reinstatement of two controversial senior staffs, the Registrar Masi Fuawe and the Pro-Vice-Chancellor Academic Dr. Semson Laup as council members. The students demanded that the two staff be removed completely from the council following their involvement in previous allegations of ill management.
Since 2015, we have been boycotting for administration that is good, that is prudent, that is transparent.
In September the same year, Professor John Warren was appointed by the National Executive Council as the new Vice-Chancellor. His arrival has finally brought some hints of hope to the university.
From the Chancellor to the youngest of the school children who welcomed us to Papua New Guinea. This clearly is the most welcoming and friendly nation on earth.
In October, following another 2-week-long boycott, the University Council was finally suspended.
Council was also one of the main topic during our past student unrest in 2015 up till this year, with a timely intervention from the Minister and as well as the Department of Higher Education, the Secretary.
The appointment of new Higher Education Minister Pila Ninigi after the national elections has complemented the students' move when he appointed a new University Council to replace the previous one.
I want to appeal to them and appeal to student body to cooperate with the new council members. I've just appointed them and give them all the support.
A few weeks later, following the appointment of the new council, the former Vice-Chancellor Philip Siaguru was arrested and charged with 12 counts of abuse of office. The National Fraud and Anti-Corruption Directorate found the former Vice-Chancellor responsible for illegally awarding various building contracts within the university, which cost the state 41.8 million kina. After 4 consecutive years of simmering discontented students and staff, their concerns have finally been answered. While there will be more challenges to come in the coming months, the students and staff believe the appointment of the new council and a new Vice-Chancellor is only a start for many good things to come for the university. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
The Special Mining Lease Osikayang Landowners Association has thanked the autonomous Bougainville government through its mining department, the mining registrar and the mining warden for conducting an open and fair warden's hearing. Chairman Philip Miriori says the warden's hearing has brought much hope to the people of Panguna who have felt there was a government to hear their cries.
In a statement, Miriori says the professionalism of the warden hearing by the autonomous Bougainville government under the leadership of President Chief John Momis was acknowledged by landowners who felt that for the first time, because they were given opportunities to speak their mind. Mr. Miriori claims the warden hearing shows BCL will never be welcomed back into Panguna, even after a 2-year exploration license and a further period of nearly 18 months. This wooden hearing was conducted under the microscope of the Bougainville Mining Act, and Mirari says they now look forward to a new era where Bougainville can prosper. Some of the grounds BCL is not welcomed are legacy issues, compensation and liabilities. Despite the horrific past, Mirari says Bougainvillians have demonstrated fighting for their rights. He said President Momis said he will now meet with the Panguna landowners and develop an alternative plan for Panguna, and they welcome the opportunity to work with the ABG. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
As the end of school holiday nears, residents in Port Moresby will be able to win some money and have an adventure. Adventure Park at 14 Mile have a catch and win cash competition running till the end of this month, with up to 30,000 kina to be won. They also have the crocodile whisperer, Farapo, who does live shows feeding the 4-meter crocodiles named after NCD Governor Poes Pakop and Moresby South MP Justin Chechenko.
Adventure Park may be the best choice for parents looking to keep their kids occupied while on holiday and at the same time have the chance to win some money. The park recently began the Catch and Win Cash competition, where different color tagged fish caught can win you up to 5,000 kina.
One fish got tag. Teddy fish all got red tag. What 100 kina each. Okay, 20 fish yellow tags. What 500 each, 500 kina. Okay, 12 fish green tags what 1,000 kina each. Na 1 fish blue tag what 5,000 kina.
But if fishing isn't your style and you don't have the patience for it, they also have other activities.
Good luck where you can come to win. You got all boat stuff, boat what 10 kina 30 minutes. You can run along lake stuff. You got all Ferris wheel 5 kina. Na merry-go-round all picnic and club and all was number na all can spin him. Then you get train stuff, train him about 5 kina per person. You can run him. Or in Chelo, o kid na bed sanitary up where by him 5 kina and by going more bed of paradise na all kid up.
Another attraction is the crocodile whisperer, Farapo, who is both deaf and mute. He communicates with the crocodile, who seem to understand him very clearly. Poes Pakop and Justin Chechenko are the names of the two 35-year-old, 4.5-meter-long saltwater crocodiles, named after the NCD Governor and Moresby South MP. While feeding time is at 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, the Adventure Park staff allowed Mr. Chechenko to have a snack on lamb heart. Governor Pakop wasn't hungry. They invited us into the pen where the 4.5 monster crocodile Chechenko has called home to see the whisperer at work. If you're not planning anything this weekend, at 3 p.m. Chechenko and Pakop come out to eat, and it's a sight that will definitely take your breath away. Adelaide Xerox Kari, National EMTV News.
The Koki Fish Market, which has been open for 2 years now, is setting a platform for fishermen to step up their maneuvers and contribute to Papua New Guinea's economy. Many families from all over the central province who come into the city to sell fish at Koki Market travel from faraway centres. This is because the business helps fishermen and their families in the local economy to progress.
Waking up before dawn is a norm for all fishermen. Whether it is catches of over 200 plus tuna or going to the reef to get clamshells, business is business. Gia Puri, who is a regular seller at the fish market, travels 30 minutes every day from Fisherman Island to make sure all the sea goods are sold. Her husband does most of the fishing and diving, while she sells them at the market.
To name go out straight on ocean, blue ocean, so I'm pulling tuna and I come selling tuna.
Today business is slow because of the new year, but usually the market is full with buyers. Eileen Guas is also a seller from Keapara, who has to travel 3 hours every day. She is one who dives and collects sea clams to sell.
Collect our shells
activists to come and make our market because we need to help ourselves.
Mickey Fu, who is a volunteer at the Koki Fish Market from Wanagala, explained to MTV News how to harvest a sea clam. The seller stated Koki Fish Market is a safe place for business. It gives them an opportunity to earn an income. Lillian Kinea, National MTV News.
Here with Wednesday's news, we go for a break now. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with football, and the start of competition for the National Soccer League has been deferred from its initial date of January the 6th. This was confirmed by PNG Football Association Senior Vice President John Wesley Gonjuan after a delay in team registrations.
In a statement, PNG Football Association said that the National Soccer League Board agreed to defer the start of the competition to the 13th, a week after originally intended. The PNGFA's board decision made to give ample time for participating clubs to prepare well before season kick-off. PNGFA Senior Vice President John Wesley Gonjuan confirmed the amended start date, with 3 matches to be played in Medang, Lae and Port Moresby. So far, 7 teams have confirmed participation for this season. Season campaigners Toti City Dwellers, formerly known as Lae City Dwellers, Medang FC, Besta PNG United and Boang FC will be joined by newcomers FC Morobe Wawens, Southern Strikers and Momase FC. Competition registration closes this Friday, the 5th of January. The official draw and competition format for the 2018 season will be announced by PNG Football Association soon after. Soccer will be Papua New Guinea's first major sport to get its top-tier domestic competition underway in 2018. Shane Saroya, National MTV Sports.
To Rugby League now, and this year's Governors Cup Finals competition will also feature Women's Grand Final to be played between D8 Mosquitoes and Roosters. The Grand Final will be held this Friday at the Kone Tigers Oval. NCD Governor Poas Pakop is expected to officiate at the finals. And we go for a quick break. Trukai Sports continues on the other side of these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Still on Rugby League, the NCD Governors Cup held the major semi-final today at Kone Tigers Oval here in Port Moresby. It was played between the 9 Mile Giants and Freeway Bumpers.
Fumble of the ball in the first 2 minutes gave Giants an opportunity to attack. The Bumpers' defense proved too strong on the short side, keeping the Giants out. Ball handling errors proved costly for the Bumpers as the Giants crossed over for their first through number 9, Super George. A successful conversion kick saw the scores at 6-0. Giants went in for their second 10 minutes later through Abele John. An unsuccessful conversion kick saw the scores at 10-0. Giants had the opportunity to extend their lead, but fumbled the ball in the in goal. The halftime score saw the 9 Mile Giants in the lead 10-0. In the second half, the Bumpers came in firing, threatening the opposition's defense early. It was a fair contest in the second half till the last 3 minutes of the match, where Giants' Damien Harrod scored from a scrum feed in the middle of the field. An unsuccessful conversion kick saw the scores at 14-0. On the final hooter, the Giants managed to cross over again. The Giants went on to win 18-0. They now face Mountain Bulls in the Cup Grand Final on Friday. Elijah Levet, National MTV Sports.
To cricket, and Cricket Australia Executive General Manager of Game and Market Development, Andrew Ingleton, says the Toyota Australian Country Cricket Championships are a great celebration of country cricket, providing Australia's best regional players with the opportunity to test their skills at a high-level competition. He says regional areas continue to produce quality cricketers. His comments come after the final selection of the International Cricket Council East Asia Pacific men's and women's team, which is dominated by Papua New Guinean players. Last year, the EAP women's team were crowned the 2017 Commonwealth Bank Australian Country Cricket Champions for the second year in a row, while the EAP men's team won 3 out of their 10 matches. And that's it for True Kai Sports. When we come back, the weather details. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather forecast over the next 24 hours. We begin in the southern region, fine, becoming sunny for Alotau. Rain and showers expected in Port Moresby, Daru, Kerama and Popondetta with a top of 32. To the Momasi region, showers expected in Leh, Wau and Madang. Brief showers in Wewak, a shower or two as well for Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, fine, becoming cloudy for Lorengau with a top of 32. A top of 32 as well for Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka with fine and sunny weather. And to the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, all these major centers can expect rain and showers over the next 24 hours. A look at the forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours in waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island, to Kerama, Newell Island, Hood Point to Samurai Island, and with waters of Finchafen to Vitias Dampier Strait to Siasi Island, Long Island, with waters of Long Island to Madang, Bogia, Wewak, Aitape, Vanimo, and the northern PNG Indonesian border, and with waters of Manus and its western group of islands, sea 0.5 to 1 meter. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands with waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel, Finchafen, and with waters of New Island to New Britain and Bougainville, sea 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And a look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea, seas smooth to slight with southwest to northwesterly winds at 5 to 10 knots. Solomon Sea, seas smooth to slight with northeasterly winds at 5 to 10 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas smooth to slight with east to northeasterly winds at 5 to 10 knots as well. And the Pacific Ocean, seas slight with east to northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And before we go, recapping our main stories today. NICTA court case listed for hearing on January the 17th despite an extension for SIM registration. City residents file case with police over damages, and churches call for support against Sanguma. And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Wednesday, the 3rd of January 2018. On behalf of the EMTV News team from all around the country, pleasant viewing. Good night.